Hey everyone, Greg Cazillo from Cazillo.com. Here is a video I have been meaning to do forever, and that is about reflectors. I'm going to talk about this 5-in-1 reflector, some alternatives to it, and why you can use all 5 sides of this. A lot of people don't understand. And something else I'm going to talk about, how to properly fold this thing, because once again, you'd be amazed at the number of people that do not know how to fold these properly, or do not read the instruction manual on how to fold them properly. So first, reflector. This is one of the 5-in-1 versions, and as you see, probably reflecting into the lens a little bit there, it's actually reflecting light. Now, you need to have light in order to reflect. So these do not work very well on, say, shady days, or I should say shady areas, unless you have the reflector standing outside, or on overcast days. They don't work real well. You'll either need to use the gold, which is the higher contrast, or you might need to use the silver side, which will put a little bit more light, gather a little bit more. Sometimes when you're using it, you can kind of take it and kind of curl it in order to concentrate the light a little bit more, or you can leave it open and that will kind of diffuse it and send it a little bit wider pattern, that kind of thing. On this one we have gold, we have white, then we have silver and black, and also the fifth way that you can use this is as a scrim, which goes in between the light and the model, or in between the light and the subject, and so we'll talk about that. First one, when you're using this, I prefer to think of this as a light source. I do not prefer to think of it as just a reflector. This is a light source. This is another light in your lighting scenario. Whether you really realize that or not, maybe not, but I'm going to show you what's going on and the reason why I think of it that way. When I'm adding light to a subject, I need to be looking at the light and looking at the subject. Hold that for me, please, Kim. By the way, you can check out Kim's cancer video at Cazillo.com/losingmytatas. Check out that video, let me know, add her a comment, send her well wishes, and hopefully she'll be over that soon, right?
Right.
So, take a look at that light, paying attention to it, seeing where the light is coming in. How much of it do you want? I can take it. How much light do you want actually added? And now we do have a little bit of, there you go, light that's actually coming in from my background light, but see how it's getting stronger there, and then when we back off, it's not as strong. I'm going to kill my background light for that next segment so that it's not hitting her face a little bit better and easier to see. Let's go over here to the gold version, and it's a lot stronger. Now, I probably would not want it in this angle. As I said, I'm only putting it back here because of that background light, but most of the time I wouldn't want it here. After taking a look at that lighting in that first segment, I realized that it actually wasn't that bad, that you could not see as much light as I was seeing from that background light, but I still have adjusted it so it's not falling on the side of her face as much. So back to the reflecting idea. You're reflecting it. You need to find that right position. Now, coming back here and reflecting the light is going to really light the back, so you need to pay attention to that. Do you really want to be lighting the back of her? Maybe not. If it's a portrait, if you want to get rid of this shadow right here, make it not quite as deep, you're going to want it over in this area here, okay? And do your best to find the right position to reflect that light back into her face from this angle, not back here, which is mainly going to hit the back of her head, the back of her shoulder, not going to be the right spot. Of course, you want to do your best to keep it out of the frame, which does make it a little bit more difficult. Anyway, we're going to be adding that in there, find that right position, and the right amount. Now, the amount of light is going to be determined by the distance, closer or farther. So farther away, less light, closer in, more light. We talked about the gold, different temperature of light, a little bit warmer, looks a little bit different, and overall just has a different quality. It's sending more light in, reflecting more of it, versus the diffused white version. Now with the 5-in-1 reflectors, as far as I know, all of them work the same. You just take your nice little zipper here, zip it all the way out and around, and then you can flip it And then we have our silver and our black. Now, the silver is very similar to the gold in that it adds more light. It's a stronger light source, but it does not give you that additional gold and that warm tone, but it still gives you the stronger light source. All right. Now, when are you going to use the black? Hopefully you figured that out. If you actually want to take light away from the subject, to actually suck light out of it, that's when you're going to use the black side. Okay? A lot of people don't realize that black actually will take that light away and make that shadow on this side of her face deeper. You should be able to see this. Hopefully you'll be able to see this, where here is no reflector at all, no black at all. And when we add this in, that shadow should get a lot deeper and then take some light away from that shadow side of her face. And if that's what you want to create, then that's when you're going to use that black side. Last one we didn't talk about is actually on the inside of the reflector, and that is our scrim. All right, scrim is going to diffuse the light for us. I actually have an umbrella on that light just outside of the frame. That's what's diffusing it. But you can still see that when I take this and I hold it here, that light is getting diffused, but it's also changing the amount of light. So you would need to adjust for that in your camera. Obviously you need to open up, add more light, change your ISO, change your shutter speed, change something, but it's definitely making the quality of light different. Now, different positions, getting it closer to the face is going to make a difference, all right? It's going to actually make it more diffused and softer when it's closer versus when it is farther away. It's going to be a little bit harsher. Lastly, talk about closing it up. And actually not last, because I got one more little piece that I think I need to talk about. Let's talk about folding it. This is really super easy, but a lot of people don't realize it. You take it, and all you need to do is take your two hands and twist them different directions. Okay? As you twist them different directions, it folds right up on itself. And it pops open. Show you that one more time. One hand on either side. One twist forward, one twist back. And we keep going and going and going. And it is folded. So, next thing I wanted to talk about is this guy, which actually is an indispensable part when you're working alone, when you're shooting alone. This is a reflector bracket on a stand. I actually have a sandbag down here, which is also good when you're working outside. If you work by yourself, if you shoot by yourself, you can't hold the reflector and shoot the camera and work with a model and pay attention, grab the kids, whatever else, all at the same time. So you need to have a reflector bracket. This one is by PhotoFlex, I think. I don't know, the label's kind of worn off. I've had it so long. Anyway, you have the two little clamps right here. You clamp it on. I probably should have prepped that and set it up. But you slide these along the length. Of course, it needs to be worked on, I think. Or maybe I'm just turning it the wrong way. Lefty, loosey, righty, tighty, right? Okay. Are you sure? Yeah. Okay, thanks. So we can turn that to there. And then this extends just like your normal tripod or normal stand would. And then you can attach it to here with those two clamps. I'm not going to show you and go over all that, but it'll hold it exactly where you want it. If you want it up high and diffused, that actually is a great way to do it. If you are shooting outdoors and you have a lot of high sun, take your reflector, take your scrim, I should say, and then put this above the model, and it'll diffuse the light just on her, but still get a really cool, nice background. I'll do a video on that this summer when it starts looking a little bit nicer. So questions, comments, concerns, love to hear them. Greg Cazillo, Cazillo.com. Thanks, guys. Keep shooting. See you.